give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High.
Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham, Kakadash.
The well honor to the apostles and the elders that surely do rule well at Great Millstone. This is salutation to the sincere brethren of their pushing of gospel in sincerity and truth. This is shalom to the humble and sincere sister as well. There's just a few brothers from the GMS trying to come to prophesy the words of the Heavenly Father Yahweh and the Son, the name of His only begotten Son Yahushai, you ignorantly know as Jesus Christ. You know, He's coming day in and day out to preach the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, to warn the nation of Israel, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans, you know, to turn away from their wickedness, to turn away from the things that they learned in this kingdom, all the wicked things they learned by their parents and by their grandparents, and all the philosophies and doctrines of this kingdom, to turn away from this earth, to turn away from the carnal things of this world, and come back unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai by repenting and keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, and believing in the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father Yahushai. Right? To believe that He is the ultimate sacrifice, and that in Him is life, in Him is redemption, in Him is glory, is honor, immortality. You understand? In Him is perfection. You know, and what we will touch on today is something in the Christian church has been pushed. Basically, is that the law is done away with. And the law statutes and commandments. You understand? They teach you in the Christian church that you could do whatever you please, you understand? And that because they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, you know, because Jesus Christ exists, you could continue to break the law, statutes, and commandments. You could continue to do as you please. Right? You can continue to live as you say, the way you want to live. Right? When you come into the church, you know, you don't have to change anything. They will take you as is. You understand? And hey, all this is forced, this push by the Christian church to keep our people down, to keep them destroyed, because they know that hey, if our people was to truly convert, you know, and come back onto that righteousness that we know, you know, you understand, that we once had, their kingdom would fall, you understand, their kingdom would crumble. So they're going to try their best to stop the truth from coming out, to stop our people from doing the right thing, by telling them that they could do the wrong thing. And you know, nothing will happen to them, it has nothing that, you know, with no repercussions for their wicked deeds. You know this precept in the book of Galatians chapter 2 verse 16, it says, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahushai HaMashiach. Even we have believed in Yahushai, that we might be justified by the faith of HaMashiach, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. And this is the scripture that is brought out in the Christian church to falsely prove that you could continue to break the Most High's laws, you could continue to do as you please, and receive no judgment for that. But what they fail to do, they fail to read a couple of verses down. Verse 17, it says, but if, while we seek to be justified by Hamashiach, we ourselves are also found sinners, is therefore Hamashiach the minister of sin? Yahweh forbid. So it says if we looking to seek after Yahushai, we ourselves are found sinners. We are trying to say that Yahushai teach you to sin. Yahushai is the one that told you that you could continue to sin, you could continue to be of this world and still receive salvation. Yahweh forbid. Verse 18, for I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. Right? Because it's foolish if Yahushai come to give repentance to Israel. He come to put death to sin. You understand? To free us from sin by Him becoming the ultimate sacrifice. If He coming to put sin to death, how is it that He would allow us to sin and He will continue to sin? It makes no sense. There's no way in the scriptures that says you could continue to sin and you will receive the kingdom of heaven. No way it is that you could find those scriptures, because as scriptures say, everybody will be rewarded according to their deeds. And you can't.
But I say, they just common sense, right? Because the Lord say every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. You know, you're gonna give every we going and judge your one by the same law. Because the scripture says law abiding forever. Right? Law abiding forever. You know, what's going on, so-called white man, he pushed to change the Mosai laws. He don't implement the Mosai laws. And watch how this world is today. Corruption. Right? So they know the Mosai gonna judge by the same law. Right? On the good things you do, you get reward on the good things, and the evil and the wicked thing, you're gonna get your portion. You're gonna get your reward. Right? Scripture said none shall go unpunished unto the grave. Right? So the law ain't done away with. Right? Not to say the law not really gonna save we. It's faith in your house shine. Right? But faith without works is dead. So the scripture says in Judges, particularly in Judges 5, in the place of joy waters, there you shall rehearse the righteous act. What is the righteous act? Most high law, statutes, and commandments, because there's our wisdom in the sight of the nation. Is this what is keep we, peace? Right? There's our peace, in the sight of the other nations. How to deal, how to serve the Lord. Things to eat, to dress. Right? The Most High word, law, statute, and commandment teach me these things. Right? So we're going to live like these other nations. Because the law is not for them. Watch how them just live. Out of order. Man with man, woman with woman. Teaching homosexuality, teaching these things in school. They were children out of, be amongst evil. And that's what the Lord coming to do, the Lord coming to judge and get rid of the evil.
In the book of Galatians, chapter 5, I'll start at verse 16 and say, this I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. Right? So it's saying that they have a war between the flesh and they have a war between the Spirit. So this scripture here is showing you basically that there is a war, there is an opposition. You can't do what you want to do. And by you doing what you want to do, you're actually living after the flesh. You're walking after the lust of the flesh. But it say here, both of them is contrary to one another. Right? Good is contrary to evil. Righteousness contrary to unrighteousness. A law keeper and a covenant breaker contrary one to another. That's why the scripture says you can't serve Yahweh and Mammon. You understand? You can't be of the truth and be of the world, because they would collide, it would mix. Because where it says in the scriptures not to eat unclean meat, the world will tell you to take all meat. You understand? It's good for you. And it don't really matter. Once you can digest it, you can consume it. The law might tell you not to have sex with your brother's wife, but the world wouldn't tell you that. You understand? They would dote upon you for committing adultery. Right? They would congratulate you women for being harlots. You understand? And for sleeping with multiple men. Right? You would boast and congratulate them for doing those things. But the law, you worry at death. So you can't mix. Right? Verse 18 it says, but if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. Right? That means you would not inherit the kingdom. And all them things that now get listed out. All you know is idolatry. All you know is adultery. All you know is envyings, stealing. Zero.
How you going to know right from wrong? How you going to know what is the evil or what is the good? So you had it know. Right? Effectively separated the wisdom of Solomon, the 9 verse 15. He said, for the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the tabernacle being down the mind that useth upon many things. And they very flesh does lust after the brother now. You know, adultery. You know, they very flesh is even things of this world. You know? But the spirit don't go after that. Because it is spirit. That's why scripture says walk in the spirit. Right? So you ain't going to do the things pleasing unto this world. But they with the flesh does go after. Right? So always be, you know, in that spirit. You know?
Something it say if you be led of the spirit, you are not under the law. They would take that scripture and say, see, the law done away with it. But the law, the true understanding. And the scripture say, out of the law, you know, it come no good thing. You understand? And he found fault with the first covenant. And it was not the law was fault, it was the keepers of the law. Because we weren't able to keep the law perfectly. We were the imperfection. You understand? We were the leaven. And it's our fault that we in this predicament today. It's our fault because we could not keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. So when the scriptures say here that we're not under the law, it's not talking about we, you know, we done away with the law, statutes, and commandments. You don't want to keep the Most High's laws anymore. It's simply referring to if you're not under the law, you're not under that curse. You're not under that death. Because why? In Yahushua is life. In Yahushua is liberty, is freedom. You understand? That doesn't give you a ticket to break the law, statutes, and commandments. Because if you're under the law, and if you take it a step further, if we under the right, if we under the law, and you sin, the wages of sin is death. So you owe your debt. All the sins that we commit in the past before we come into this truth, and all the times we fall short within this truth, we owe your debt. We fighting and losing battle. You understand? Because if the wages of sin is death, and we not perfect, so we gonna continue to sin no matter what, because as the two precepts that was brought out, this flesh lusts after the things of this world and it pushes down the spirit. Now when you read so in Romans, he said that which I would not allow is that I do. You understand? That which I basically don't want to do is that which I do. Because these are the chains of everlasting darkness. So when this flesh pushing on this spirit, and we can't keep the laws perfectly, then it's just death. We should just stop, do the work, stop make videos, stop being in truth. Because if we fighting a losing battle, you understand? But in Yahushua, you're not under the law. In Yahushua is life. You understand? And that what these Christians can understand.
In Yahushua is life. In Yahushua is mercy. You know, but still, you know, he didn't teach to despise the law. Right? Because he say keep the commandments. They is what to inherit eternal life. The commandments we didn't keep the same to done away, to make the law void. Right? There's Sirach 17 verse 31. He said, what is brighter than the sun? Yet the light thereof faileth, and flesh and blood will imagine evil in this flesh, but they with this flesh does lust, wickedness, right? Thinking evil, right? It's a battle, right? You know, the flesh, you know, try to press down your spirit, your soul, but it's a fight, you know, but hey, you overcome it, right? Because hey, you're shy overcome it. You get victory over it. You know, and we gotta push for the same, we gotta fight in that continual battle. You know, it's not an easy walk. You know, it's a battle, you know, in your mind. You know. But there's a way out. You know, search out these scriptures. Walk in the spirit, you know, spiritually focused. You know, and hey, you're gonna resist evil, you're gonna resist the devil. The devil gonna flee from you.
And hey, it sort of makes sense. If the scripture says it's a battle, you know, we wrestle not spiritual battle, and it have a certain force that you are to resist. You understand? And the Lord gonna give you a strength to be able to resist all these temptations. What is temptation? You're tempted to do what? You understand? What is you so tempted to do? If you know under no Lord, you could do anything. It have no you see, temptation, it basically means you longing after, you lusting. You understand? You seeking to do something. Right? So when you under temptation, it could be you're being tempted to commit adultery. Right? You're being tempted to forsake the Most High. You're being tempted to go and take that poison, right, and forsake your Hashem Yahushai. You're tempted to do something. But where there's no law, you understand, there's no temptation. Right? So that to show, like, when they're dealing with the scriptures, to show how the Lord, how the people confused genuinely, because some as simple as that, they don't wanna accept it. And some Christian churches teach that, hey, you know, you can't commit adultery, you can't commit idolatry and all these things. But thing like beard, you can mark your beard, you can mark your hairline, you don't want to get circumcised, right? But the scripture, and one of the scriptures that I show every brother learn in the beginning of this walk is that whosoever breaketh one of these least commandments shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. And that was Yahushua, he said, right? You know as Jesus Christ. That's what he said, that if you break a least commandment, what is a least commandment? Marking your beard, tattoos, you understand? That is least commandments. You shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven.
Check it out, you know. A man do how to do that. You gotta mark, you gotta line up your hairline. You know? You know how to do that. But they know how to take wickedness as something good. Because a man will just talk about, you know, they remove the ancient land, man. The Lord don't give you a hairline already. The Lord give you a hairline already, and you're gonna remove your ancient land, man. Right? To please what? To please your flesh. Because you find it is how you looking attractive, you find it is how you looking handsome. For these halabs them out there. But a man go run to the barber, to groom up himself, take his shave, take his mask, you know, to look pleasing for who? Because if the scripture say, you know, hey, the Lord be a man a beard is a badge of honor. This is the thing that is please your Basham your shine when a man a beard. Right? And you're gonna destroy your blood to please a woman because you know you find it look nice, you know mark up. Right? They will be gonna please flesh, please these women rather than to please the Heavenly Father.
And it's all wickedness to because you tell them out there, they will say, wait, but you tell me the Lord will destroy me because I mark my beard. And you know the Lord does deal with your heart and you know get all emotional about the topic, but the fact of the matter is you guys just don't like to be obedient. If your mother tell you, hey, wash the ways, right? Your parents tell you wash the ways, clean the house. Sure, in the overall scheme, you understand? I know the greatest of tasks, but at the same time, it is a task nonetheless. And if they tell you to do it, then do it. Right? Because always want to, why I do this? Why he said we eat pork? Right? And the scripture saying, Isaiah, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways, are not your ways. Right? So, the same way heaven is higher than the earth, so are my thoughts are yours. This is the creator of all things. So if you're Howard, right, the ancient of days, set our ordinance for us to keep. Who is you are mortal, think that you can gain the understanding and try to challenge the Most High's wisdom and challenge his knowledge. If you say, don't mark your beard, don't mark your hairline, then it's don't mark your beard, don't mark your hairline. If you get a dietary law and say there's what things and there's what nothing, then that is what it is. And it's when you're ready, that's why scripture say, just fear Yahweh and keep his commandments because it's very simple. You understand? It's very, very simple. As Yahushua said when they ask him, you know, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, the commandments. That's how you inherit eternal life. eternal life. Son, basic thing you tell our JK not to take no tattoo. Hey, but the world will really destroy me. If I take a tattoo, boy, I would have changed anything, boy. The ordinance that was set down. Right, and hey, the time coming. Right?
Yeah, the time coming.
Because sometimes, hey, like, you know, where sometimes, you know, when I go and get a haircut, and we'll say, wait, but you ain't even marked, boy. You understand? Because it's so, wickedness so engraved in their mindset that them can't cut their hair without marking it. They can't cut their beard without tapering it out, without lining it up. You understand? That is where the so-called blacks, Hispanics and Latinos reach. And if you think about what all the nations, it's them that's been doing it the most. It's Jakes that's marked their hairline the most. You understand? And that way he saw on them. That way he saw picked on from. That way he saw that the mice and them marking all their hairline and thing. That was Jake thing. That's how wicked all the niggas become. So let me make that part of what it is.
Make that part of them. He go run and get here, mark down. And once you see that line faded, what? You go in and highlight back that line.
Okay.
You go in and sharp back up yourself. Not knowing, you just adding sin upon sin. You just adding transgression upon transgression. Right? And God gonna hold you accountable for it. Right? All that gonna stop. And you're going and be judged. The scripture say that. Right? There's second Ezra's 9, start at verse 10. Say, for such as in their life have received benefit and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they yet had liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. Say the same must know it after death by pain. So the same gonna know it after death by pain. So how the Most High law can done away with when he said clearly here, right? The same must know it after death by pain.
Well, you know, all the things we learn in the street, this here is foundation. And there's one of the lies that they genuinely couldn't believe that you was a part of that too. Because if you go growing up in a Christian home, it's like you don't have to do nothing for the Most High. You don't have to do nothing. You just say, pray. You recite the same prayer every night and live. You understand? You ain't really putting no effort to say go and do something for the Most High. I remember when I now come into the truth and I started learning, well, you can't do this. You can't mark your hairline. You can't do certain things. Right? The Sabbath, the Passover, all the holy days, the adultery, the idolatry, right? The graven images, all these things you learn. The way women's supposed to be dressing, the way men's supposed to be dressing. Right? You learn all the dietary laws and all these things. And you ask yourself, well, if Christianity is so following the Bible, right? All these pastors, they went to school. Right? They went to all the universities to get a degree. All these historians and all these people that are the so-called, right, that deal with the Bible. Where all these parts? You understand? And now the scripture say what? So the law and the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, there is no light in them. So your pastor that telling you could break the Most High's laws that it's done away with, there's no light in you. Yahushua is not dwelling within that one. There's only darkness dwelling within you. For a man to read, not to do something and do it, and try to justify it, and have no light dwelling within you.
To you wickedness. Jake today. A lot of people that feel well, you know, going in the church, running in the church, that the same thing. They not to learn nothing. Once they go to church every Sunday and think it, they feel that, you know, yeah, the righteousness, you know, it's building. You know, they don't have a few in the bag already. You know? They done have some in the bag already. You know, the Lord will show me mercy, you know. I went to church on a Sunday, you know. They learning nothing, thinking that the building gonna save them. Thinking that by stepping into the building, that you know they're safe. You know? And it's not so. The Most High hate not sinners, the Most High hate all workers of iniquity. Right? You can't go into the building to say, well, you know, that's gonna save you. No. That don't cleanse you. By going into a building, that's not gonna cleanse you. That's not gonna get you saved. What is get you saved? What? Taking heed unto thy word. Taking heed unto these sayings inside here. These sayings. That was gonna get you saved. Right? That was gonna get you. That was gonna get you a ticket. When the chariots come, a boarding pass. That's the get you a boarding pass. Not these churches. Maybe movie. Knowing. With Nicolas Cage. What you going to he and his father and them? And his father was a big time pastor. He and all they need get delivered. Right? To show you Christianity is garbage, is nothing. Have no salvation day. Right? Wickedness day. Wickedness in these all houses. No good thing dwell in day.
Right. The Israelis say that, you know, they go say, well, they can't remember when last they went to church and they feeling guilty about it. Because going to church itself, right? Forget about learning, forget about doing the right thing, forget about praying, forget about all them things. Just walking in the church, sitting down for some hours, they might listen to the pastor. You went. You understand? You get your participation medal, you went. You understand? Or like reading the Bible and things. They go say, well, hey, I just read my Bible. They know what they're reading and they care to know what they're reading. But they know, they omit, they read it itself, you understand? They really care about the understanding of the scriptures. Just reading it.
And what they basically be reading, you know, they'll be reading prayers, you know, they will be reading Psalms and these things. Yeah. But the scripture says they Proverbs.
Proverbs chapter 28 verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination.
Yeah, so you could read 1,000 Psalms. You could be reading Psalms every day. If you don't hearken unto the words of Yahweh Basham Yahushai, the Most High not hearing you. The Most High want to hear you. It don't go one way. You can't expect the Lord to do for you and you do nothing for the Lord. No. That just simple maths. That just simple maths. Right? You can't expect somebody to do something for you and then you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't adding nothing to the kingdom. And just want somebody to do for you right. No, it don't work so. Right? So the Most High say, he that turn away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. So when you want to go in church and think, well, you know, you're all well and good, you know, you can go to church, you can still eat your unclean meat, still go your carnival, still go your party, jump up, do all form of wickedness, idolatry, all the things that with his flesh desires. And then boom, you know, when the night comes here, you're reading Psalms, Lord is my shepherd and all these things. Yeah?
And you know, you realize the Psalms 121, the Psalms 1, the Psalms 91, Psalms 23, right? Beating these Psalms, you understand? In hopes that, hey, sins forgiven, you understand? That's all I have to do, just read our Psalms. And as the brother rightfully said, they don't go in no breakdown. It's nothing like them go in Revelation or Isaiah or Daniel. You know, one of the books with the prophets and see what it was, see the interpretation of dreams and, you know, let me try to break down some strongholds placed upon us by the so-called white man. Them just have to read Psalms, they go in Proverbs a little bit, you understand? Them kind of scriptures. And take it out of context. And they got to go.
Bible is not just to read alone, but to apply the things you're reading. And this is what Christianity them do, right? They do apply the things they read. You know, basically sometimes they don't even understand the thing they read.
That's a good point you bring out too, because our scripture saying it's better to fear the Lord and to have no wisdom than to be filled with wisdom and have no fear. Because a man with little wisdom and all he know is to fear Yahweh B'Hashem Yahusha, he will receive salvation. Even if he know he can't get into the scriptures and get every single breakdown and just flip through and get every precept he wants and thing. When he had the key thing, which is to fear Yahweh B'Hashem Yahusha, have faith, be obedient in the Lord, he chariot waiting, you understand? But the man who has all the wisdom, you understand, all the precepts, all the breakdowns, and can't apply not one, he is falling into destruction. You understand? So that's why I say it's not of works as any man should boast. It's not about how much precepts I could pull. Because time when I was in school, me and this Elamite used to constantly get into arguments. And one of the main things he would say is, how much time you read the Bible? You understand? So I go ask him, what's the point? I ask him that phone. He go say, well, me and my mother read the Bible over 4 times. You understand? Front to back, four times over. Yeah, you did. Right? You probably read it more, you read it over more than I did. But what did you learn? What did you receive? You understand? What you really retain from all the things that you read? Nothing. You understand? Reading a Bible does not guarantee your salvation. You going to church and saying none doesn't guarantee your salvation. I know niggas, as the brother said, niggas, that is what niggas do. Go in the church and sit down. You don't care about the pastor, what the pastor say. You don't care about what nobody else say. You in the building, you in the atmosphere. So that whole, you know, that spiritual atmosphere just building up your righteousness now. And then you top it off with that 2 psalms before you go and sleep. And you real works you for the day. Die what Jake does thing.
I feel, you know, running into the church like that get away. A jail free card. Just no. That is going in jail card. That is going in the pit yard.
Yeah.
Running in them other houses. As the brother was not talking about, you know, a man who fear the Lord, you know, he might know, you know, the deep breakdowns, he might know in the scriptures, you know, but hey, he fear the Lord, you know, and applying the things, you know, where you reading, you know, how to live, you know, how to, you know, not to eat all these unclean meat, you know, changing up his life, you know, he trying, he fear the Lord, the Lord say not to do this, you know, he ain't doing these things, he trying. The scriptures talk about. They say Rock 33, verse 30. It said, the spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. Right? So the spirit of those that fear Yahweh B'Hashem Yahusha shall live. Because they fear the Lord.
Something that happened with right? A story, you know, something I always watch is when the woman, she was unclean. You understand? And I think she had an issue with blood or whatever the case was. And she saw Yahusha. You understand? And she grabbed the hem of his garment, I think it was. And then he felt the virtue went out of him. And when he sprang around and, you know, he asked, well, who touched him or who grabbed him, whatever the case is. And the woman said, I just thought that just by touching your clothes, I would be healed from that infirmity. And he said, what, thy faith had made thee whole. And she was healed. But the scribes and the Pharisees, the masters of the law, the men with all the scrolls, all the wisdom, you understand? All the so-called, all these things that they build themselves upon. What went on with them?
Yeah, brother.
Pure destruction. It's pure destruction for them scribes and them Pharisees. Because they was missing the key thing. The fear, the faith, the obedience unto the Most High. And that woman filled with all manner of infirmity. She didn't have all the wisdom, but she had the key, which was the fear, which was the faith. And what did that bring she? Healing. You understand? It brought forth healing. So that is to show you, when you really get down to it, it's about fearing Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and keeping his commandments. You understand? That is what it is about, being obedient unto the Lord. Not everything you do, right? And hey, they for the brethren, when you bring out a video, just say, well, I bring out a video. No, it's about the reasoning. Why it is you going to take 30 minutes, 20 minutes to sit down and bring out a video. It's because you fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And you tell it to feed the sheep. You tell it to preach your word. When you're doing the work, say it out here just to talk. You understand? You just come out because you're doing the Lord's work. You have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So everything you do, you always keep that mentality that this is for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But that's why the scripture say what? Be not as the hypocrites. What these pastors under? You feel them really care about the God that they serve? Them not do it for the people. You understand? Go up on stage. It's a big performance show, they're on stage, they're the mic, they're playing piano in the background, they're the choir, they bust a precept and the choir sing amen, and it's a big show. You understand? It's a big movie they put on. They don't really care about the Lord. And at the end of the performance, what they do? They hand out baskets for your money. You understand? Take all your money and buy a best car. It's just a business to them. It's just a way to survive to them. It's not about serving no power. But yet you people believe in this truth.
And that is how the wicked does increase it in riches. By wickedness, by folly, by the sneaky craftiness. Because that is a sneaky craftiness. And yet these people that can't come out of that bubble. The other day, I think it's his name is Creflo Dollar, whoever his name is. He wanted a new slave.
Yeah.
Right? He had to take a new plate. Right? And it cost so much a million. And the people are taking that. And hey, Jake's running out of their mind. The people that running out of their mind for these men. So offer up your heart and body to these men. All they look as holy men. And them is wicked men. Them wicked in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Them totally against Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That people in he can't enter into the kingdom of poor man. He have to fulfill his love. He have to be a rich man. Yeah, so he will be a rich man on the other side. He can't enter the kingdom of poor man. Like, he don't want to be poor. But what the scripture say? Blessed are the poor. Blessed are the meek, for them shall inherit the earth.
Better it is to dwell with the lowly.
You can't. So we talk about rich man. And that is the same thing, The rich man didn't want to give up his possession. He didn't want to give up his possession to follow the Lord. So you see that with these pastors, they didn't want to give up the possession. They didn't want to follow the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. They didn't want to give up the possession.
So that's the show. Always goes back to that essence. So when the man he come up and he say, well, hey, I keep the laws since I'm growing up, I do all these deeds. He say, well, alright, sell all that you have. Why he could not say, alright, no problem, you understand? And give away all his possession because he don't care about his life. His treasures, he say, for where your treasure is, there your heart is, there your heart also be. His heart, his mind is on the kingdom of heaven. You understand? He on the things not seen. So why he didn't give up all his possession? No, he could not do that. Because he not watching the things unseen. He grounded in his flesh. He consumed by the lust of his flesh. You understand? So he could not give up his possession.
You ain't want to lose that? So he ain't see him, further down. He's here now for now. You're looking at what you're going to receive later down. Immortality. Something by you can, to hurry me, but it's a maze, right? To receive that. Because You know, there's always a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Right? You gain a chance to get immortality. Just to sell these earthly things. Just to give away that. That you do have to, you're going to live it evermore. You ain't want to make that sacrifice to give away these vain things that when you're dead, you still have to leave it here, you know. Something temporal, you know. You gain something eternal. And you don't want to give it up. You know, and they just show you that the mindset and reflection. What is clean for these things.
I remember a video I watched, you know, life is meaningless. Because when you really think about it, with all this truth, right? With all this truth, life is meaningless. Because, alright, let me say, that why I say, you know, I'll bring it out. Just look at in 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 24, it says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run, that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. So he was, you know, using that point to weigh in a race. All us run the race where we only have one victor. We only have one man that will come first. So run, right? Continue to fight the good fight, lay hold on eternal life, and continue to fight until the end. You got to be out until the end shall be saved. But the things that we fight for, the things that we fighting for, is an incorruptible crown, whereas they fight for corruptible. You look at these athletes and them. Watch how far these athletes go to get their body in shape to compete. They will devote their whole life. You understand? They would give up their family. They would give up their sanity. You understand? In pursuit of whatever championship or whatever trophy or medal. You understand? They would sacrifice their entire life, damage their body, you understand? Tear muscles and keep going, you know, keep fighting to win. But for what? You understand? For what? You gonna get put to death, and eventually all the training that you do is not going to matter. Like a man would spend his entire life trying to obtain wealth, right? He would sell out whoever he had to do. Look at all these celebrities in Hollywood, all these rappers and things that people listen to. You understand? Sell themselves basically for wealth. You understand? All manner of fornication they're doing. You understand? All manner of homosexuality. I don't feel ever see a video with Lil Wayne and they was talking about it. You know, like all the things that, you know, they had them do for that wealth.
Yeah.
You understand? That is the initiation. Right? I was watching a video, this Jake say, you know, he get invited to this big Hollywood party, whatever the case is. And when he went in, they was only trying to give him drugs. You know, he drink something and he was reading the play, whatever. And then he said they take him to a room. And in that room, is all manner of faggotry taking place, you understand? All manner of wickedness taking place in that room. And they let him know that if he want to go bigger in this system, if he want to rise in the system, that he had to submit himself basically unto them. And that Jakes would do that. And this all manner of wickedness and uncleanness to pursue fame, to pursue popularity, to pursue wealth. But for what? You understand? They spend their entire life building up a house and eventually it's going and crumble and fall. All the houses that was built in the Babylonian Empire, in the Roman Empire, where are they today? They become dust. You understand? It don't make sense. The car, right? You can spend all your money, you know, you can work and hell work and go through hell on work to buy a best car. You go pay 120,000 for it. Fast forward 20 years, the car you pay 120,000 for is now worth 20,000. You understand? And fast forward some more years, it's scrap iron. So what is the point?
Fast forward a few more years, you've done gone. You've done gone back in the rep already. and not a leader. That's just saying, Proverbs 27.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 24. For riches are not forever, but the crown endureth to every generation.
Riches are not forever. Right? These things are not forever. Right? This is we would want to work hard for. You know? Sweat. Like earthly things. That going and vanish away. You going and vanish away. Why you want to lay up treasures in heaven? Right? We want and us do corrupt.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 19. It says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, where thieves break through and steal.
Then you gotta lay up for. Lay up the treasure for this. Not every what is it? These greenhouses, you gotta clean them over. You gotta scrub down the moss on them. You gotta change all your fencing. You gotta change all your little blue stars so that rotten out. You gotta change all these things. Right? But hey, in the kingdom of heaven, that is like moss and fungus and mildew. You can see them things. Right? They will want to lay up, they will want to set your heart towards that. Not these earthly things which is temporal.
Jake does work really hard. You understand? And at the end of their life now, you know they're going to have a house, a car, money in the bank.
Like some big achievement that accomplished the
Jake think he live a successful life. You understand? He do what he had to do, he keep his head down and he grind. You understand? He take shit from the boss, from what people, and he just grind it out. You understand? He hustle, you understand? And he build up himself and now he have money for his children. You understand? He could take care of his wife, he could see about, his family, and guys said, hey, mission accomplished, now I could die. Not knowing that everything you now do, you did nothing. You understand? All your work was in vain.
everything.
Your house gone crumble, your car gone crumble, you, your wife, and your children going and die, you understand? You not going to be no kind of remembrance, you understand? Because why? Now the scripture says in 1 Corinthians 9, seek after a corruptible crown. You understand? All these things we see in it, it say for these things, the things which are seen at temple, that building not going to stand forever. You understand? These buildings not going to stand forever. Eventually it will fall. Right? All men have one entering in. Right? One way to enter in and one way to go out. So all men going and die. Something that is worth hundreds of thousands today. A couple hundreds, in the future. That is always good. You understand? So why seek after shit like that when you could seek after something that would never run out? You understand? One of my favorite precepts is to be allied unto wisdom is infinite wealth. What is infinite wealth? You understand? What is infinite wealth? You know how to work and you have infinite wealth. As your brother say, your house not gonna have no moss, no rust. You're gonna have to call a plumber, an electrician to fix it for nothing. Your house just as it built, you can stay so for eternity. You understand? Why seek after that?
Because thing, life insurance, all kind of things that when they pass, they get proper burial, they get this, they get that, but they really seeking for eternal life. They seeking for that life, seeking for this temporal.
Yeah, this whole kingdom is garbage. So imagine you putting your whole life into a place like this. You understand? You
This place is a shithole. Then, when I live at town here, like in here, in this hell, right? You know, man, like my old man telling me, so you don't want to reach 65 and receive pension, you know, and get money. All that hell we going through here. You want me to wait till I reach Christ 65? No, I want this place to finish now. Looking for this place to finish. Let the Lord remove the evil from the earth and come back in rulership. Then the earth will flourish, then the earth will going to rejoice. Because scripture said that. When the wicked in authority, the people mourn. But when the righteous in authority, the people then rejoice. Now we was talking about that the other day. Even the heathens and all, them going and rejoicing our way to it. Although it's slavery for them, but they're gonna rejoice. Right? Hey, the evil gone. Esau gone. You know, that the man, you know, he got it corrupt.
It will be better for everyone, you know. So a point that I always bring out is like when they infiltrate the Middle East, and the other day they admit that the reason that they went in there, you know, they say that they had guns and they had weapons. And they admit that the people and them had no weapons, you understand? Had no terrorism, it had no weapons. They went in the people land for gold and for oil. So they set up 9/11 to, you know, get a reason as to why we infiltrating the land and we can take all the resources and afflict them, you understand? And that's what it is. Make themselves, them is the villains, you know, but they will make themselves look like the heroes. All that will be done away with. You will have no cancer in the earth again. You will have, it will not Esau. You will not the so-called white man to be afflicting nobody. And as the brother say, yeah, these other nations will be under hell because they gotta pay for what they do. You understand? They will have to pay for all the slavery they put me through as well. But that will still be better than this shithole. But everything will be in order, it will be balanced, it will be perfect. It will be a paradise. You understand?
In Micah 2 verse 1. Say, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evils upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. So them they just, you know, just do that just so. It's something that done plan already. You know, let me do this. You know, let me destroy the towers. Don't throw the blame on them. You know, that will give you advantage to go into to raid them, you know. It's something to plan. This is how the wicked are doing.
Same thing with Japan and the Polar.
Yeah. They plan all these things. Right? Verse 2. See, and they covet fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, keep a man and his heritage. And that is how the so-called white man does get down. Right? And when you read in the attributes of these things and see it fit the so-called white man, all it could be deny that this man is not the devil, that this man is not Esau Edom. But a lot of people that deny it. You tell you the white man is Esau, but you tell you he's Edom, but you tell you the white man is the devil. When you read these scriptures, that line him up, word for word in sequence.
And the characteristics of the devil.
Correct. It's leading up to that man. So all they can deny that.
All the G4 summits and all these things around the world, who on the head seat of all the G4 summits and all the global summits and things, who on the head seat? So-called white man.
The rule is given to the hands of the wicked.
He will rule by the sword. The scripture says he better the sword and better. But he will rule with the sword.
Now that scripture too, Job 9:20-48 is given into the hands of the wicked. That's so basic. If the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, the rulers will be wicked. So look at the elites. And who are they? They ain't so. They ain't Jake. You understand? They ain't Asian. They so-called white people. You understand? The richest families on the earth is so-called white people. And as you better say, at the head of all them summits and all this whole beast system is the so-called white man. He on top. So he is the wicked that the Bible is speaking of. He is the one ruling the earth. But Jake when received that because that the so-called white man, that the loving, kind-hearted white man. You understand? I think which is Abraham Lincoln will take him out of Abraham Lincoln, right? That the man who delivered we out of slavery. You understand?
David Draghi.
That's why the street is known as a what? The cover is a code, you know?
Really check it out. To show you, the scripture say, you know, if they do it good, they do it unwillingly. And you go see the wickedness at the end. So a lot of them feel that was a good, you know, Abraham Lincoln do that, he freed the slaves. But if you really check the heights and know the history about it, he just didn't free the slaves. Because if he didn't do that, the third class, the low class whites would have suffered. The people would have suffered. Because if you have slaves who could work for free, why you and pay a man to do that same thing when you could have slaves who not work for free?
Yeah.
And you ain't have to pay them.
I just show he saw 81 people too. Son.
But the scripture say that his children will complain about God the Father.
Yeah, that's why when
Oh, children, how they?
what Abraham Lincoln already do, he just separate the slavery, you know. Instead of putting it like in one bottle, he just dilute it so it can spread all over now. You understand? So the so-called Negro will always be a slave. It's just not in America alone. You understand? But it was all over.
Still, you know, with that even that documentary I did watch, what was the Jake name? We did talk about last time. Same acting, he was
Morgan Freeman.
right, Morgan Freeman. He was in a documentary and he went, I think he went to Israel or whatever, but he was dealing up with them Jews and them, you know, those fake Jews, right? And they was basically saying that, you know, they're celebrating the Passover right now. Because the documentary was about miracles. And imagine this Jake, right, this Israelite, who was actually there, sitting down with a set of Edomites, and them telling he that their heritage, the Lord let their people, right, their power let their people out of the hands of Pharaoh. And he said, don't be like a dunce. You understand? Not knowing that is that your heritage them talking about. You understand? And that just show the so-called white man he take my identity basically. Because they just say that they call themselves that, they say that them is the Jews, them is the tribe of Judah, right? Them is the Benjamites, them is the Levites. And they don't know what went on with the northern kingdom, but them is the southern kingdom. And telling this chick like their heritage. The so-called white man love you. Right? The so-called white man love Jake. The so-called white man love Jake. He just come out and tell hey, only the chosen people. I is the devil. Understand? Only the chosen people and you know all that turn back to all the power and tell them things that will benefit them. He wouldn't do that. Tell them all that what to break the law, statutes and commandments.
It's a perpetual hatred, you know. Because remember, what he saw promising he had for that when his father is done more, he was done with the father, he was going to slay his brother.
That is why when you're enemy to do that. They strip you from your identity. They take your identity and give you something else. They give you what they feel like. Right? They give you by the land to conquer. And them take you your identity. A friend don't do that. A brethren don't do that. Who does do that? An enemy. And that's why the scripture says when you read Psalm 83, for Lord thy enemies, Lord didn't call them friend or a partner or a neighbor. The Lord called them enemies. Because the Lord have enemies. And the Lord name out the enemies. Right? It's not to say he named them. No, he named them who they are. All these nations. Right? But when you read Psalm, you see the Ishmaelites, Edomites, the Agarim, Egyptians, all of them. Them is enemies.
Lord, the whole is who running the earth, all of them running the earth, but the white man on top of them, he's on top, but them also running also.
And
You want me hold the same enemies or the most cycle? Same enemies, same nations.
And the term African American, that is show how he saw wicked. Africa is a whole continent. So they say you are African. What does that mean? Understand? Which one of them is your heritage, right? If you go to trace back your lineage, it's just what the whole African continent. You understand? Because it have plenty nations in Africa. You understand? So which one you belong to? You know? Yeah, no. He just say, alright, use African Americans. They call me Afro Trinidadians. What kind of term is that? You understand? That's why he sort of just be making up shit. Use a Trinidadian. You understand? Use an Afro Trinidadian. You understand? They don't call themselves Caucasian American. You understand? But they'll call you African American.
West Indies.
Yeah. All these terms,
All these names.
but they will be a true nationality.
They ain't hiding that from you. They ain't want you to know that at all. They ain't want you to turn back to your power. Because Esau know the power dread, because Scripture said the devil also believes and trembles. Right? He know. Right? Because he know he know the Most High will not touch you. You know the Most High will not touch you because you know the law is forbidden. When we disobey the law, we're going to get touched. The Lord will touch you because it happens. We live in to fight today. You know, in the enemy's land. You know, slavery. These dogs ruling over we. You know, white man know who all is. All they don't know who all is. And see why Scripture says, an ox don't take hold and an ass is master. But Israel do not do, they consider. And like Jacob today, then Jacob consider not to die.
No, they want to be called every other thing other than an Israelite. They feel comfortable with what they believe in already and what they was taught. This is Psalm chapter 10 verse 1. It says, why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thou thy face in times of trouble? He said, the wicked in his pride do persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. You know, and I just said back up what the brothers were saying. You know, the wicked persecute the poor, and they actually boast about it too. And one of the ways why how they boast about it is that they put these things in movies in front of the people's eyes and say this is what they're going to do, and they do it. You know, and they do it. You know, and it has nothing to stop them because why the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. They have the power. They have the power. They have the might. You know, verse 3, Psalm chapter 10, verse 3. It says, for the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorred. You know, abhorred. So the wicked boasts of his heart desire, and his main heart desire, you know, is to bring out the MOTB. That is his main goal. That is the most important thing. You know, when I come into this thing, you know, when I come into this street, that's the most important thing I really have to look forward to right now. The implementation of the MOTB. This is the main big prophecy. And the wicked is boasting about it because they're actually coming out to say they're going to go at a digital, you know, currency, you know, and so forth, like the New World Order, you know. Yeah. Verse 4, it says the wicked through his pride of his countenance, but not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts.
Yeah, it's like knowing all the thoughts. What do you want to do? What the things you're doing?
And
The Most High is not in your thoughts. When you can legalize homosexuality, the Most High is not in your thoughts. The Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for that. And you coming to do that? How do you make then the Lord not in your thoughts? You ain't fear the Lord.
the way how he treated the Lord people, the Lord is not in his thoughts.
The Most High is not in your thoughts.
Yeah, to add what you were saying, that the reason why MOTV is that he end all is because with that he could gain full access and control. Because when I went to the vet, I have a puppy and the vet was letting me know, telling me I should chip the dog. You understand? Because there's RFID chips in animals, and she say you should chip the dog. It will be better that way, because wherever the dog go, you will know where. You understand? You'll be able to have a better, basically, then you have a better control over the animal. You understand? So wherever she might go missing or whatever, I could always find she, because that chip within she. Right? So it's the same thing you saw using the way. If you take that MOT, yeah, he gonna tell you, oh, it's for diseases and you know. Can he can tell you, you know, you can track diseases, and if cancer come up, you know, you'll be able to track it one time. Security, you know, all these things, your bank account, you'll be easier access. You can just scan to open up your car and all them things. But that just to catch you. The real thing is that he want to gain full control and be like the Musa. You understand? It's all about him trying to be like Yahweh Hashem.
It's nothing new under the sun, no? But back then, when they had slaves, they used to mark their slaves. You know, it was an earring or something like that. Right, but now, there's an implementation under this thing. The sign stating that, you know, this is my slave that you know, you have no other king but Caesar, then, you know, that kind of way. Like Esau will be your king and your lord, you know, going down that road.
That come like there, that is there, you know, in the shell, that is the stamp, that is mark, property.
So you are in slavery too.
So the signet, you have a signet, is a signet, yes, you call it. They put in blood and stuff, and like a ring or something like that, and they put a print on it or something like that, you know. That is it. You know, but at the end of the day, as a person to have that say too, that the Mosai chip too. Understand? Because the Mosai really invent that chip to destroy the people that you don't want. That's how so you could be lead on to that. Anyone who lead on to that chip and try to, you know, to stick it to the system, die the judgment the Heavenly Father set for them. Understand? But as according to Brother Pasha yesterday too, he put up something on the army WhatsApp. He said what a wonderful time to be alive. Understand? Because we actually seeing that the chip coming to pass after so long. After so long, because they're posting about how they're going to change the cash system now, make it a cashless society. And not just cryptocurrency, they calling it. They call it some blockchain. Understand? Where it has a digital identity with it.
Scripture say, had these been the days of your father, you seen it in 3 days. Seen it in 3 days. You know?
Understand? So that's how we know, when the majority of the time diligently, that's how we know that we are at the end. You know, we are at the end.
Yeah, with that would be really a powerful technology, because imagine if the Lord did allow Esau to accomplish that goal, he would have full access and control over all beings on the earth. So he can't hide. So he can find you wherever he is. You have full control over everybody.
Then you saw, you know the human body too.
Yeah.
You know the way you search it out. Try search out the human body, you know how to tamper with your nerves, your mind, you know how to think, to make you aggressive or to calm you down, all these things.
How I did the forerunner at the chip was the juice. Understand? And the juice, the MOTB can't go into your skin and just operate with your human body just so. Something has to change within your body. So this is why the juice was important. Your juice, right now, your people who take the juice, their body actually altering. And as I'm preparing to be
To cope with that.
Yeah, to cope with it. Yes, exactly.
It's like a foreign thing to your body.
Exactly, you just have to chip it and say, and take, because the most I create the body.
And the immune system will react and
And you react certainly. That's how I say it. So in order for that to happen, that is the say what they accomplish at diligent search. Does it not happen? Does it not happen 10 years ago? Someone research this stuff way back then.
You know, the wicked evil have on the bed. You know, they're thinking of these things.
Look at Isaiah chapter 26 verse 10. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly. and will not behold the majesty of the Lord.
Uphold that. He ain't gonna learn righteousness. He ain't gonna learn that. That is not in him. He can't think straight. You know, if he saw, you know, he can't do good. If he do evil, but he's not Esau. He has to do that. To fulfill him, you know, he just has to do that. Right? That's what it energizes you, that's what it makes you happy. To do wickedness and do evil, if he do that, he feel good.
The perfect devil, the Most High made the perfect devil. The perfect devil to rule.
In Psalm chapter 73, verse 6, outside of verse 5, it says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
They are what? They plagued like other men. They don't go into court. They don't go into court system and be treated like jigs. You know what? How much school shootings they having now and over there in America. What they say with these so-called white boys to do this shooting, the Edomites to do this shooting. You know they have mental illness, so you have to treat them properly. If it's not a jig, you know, jig then got slaughtered long time.
In the school.
Understand? That is one example out of thousands. They're not in trouble like us. They do not face the harsh reality like how we harsh under these heathens. They're just the most that have wasted minimum wage that have. Everything and prices, as prices go up, everything going up, but your minimum wage is not going up at all. So things that get worse and worse for the so-called Negro.
And if they say they're going to raise it, they're going to raise minimum wage by 2%. So from 1750, like 1784 or something. Yet everything raising, as they say, in a greater
yeah, because the fall of the dollar. You know, because the decrease of the dollar is having no value. So everything must increase, but the amount that you're supposed to get will never increase.
That was why when you read Haggai, you just say so much. But bring it to it. You know, minimum wage.
Minimum wage.
Psalm 73 verse 5, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
Right.
Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with the fatness, they have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily.
I go back to what? I go back to the blessing. You saw blessing, you get the fatness of the earth. And after he conquered the earth, he still want more because he's trying to go out there. He's trying to go out there to get Jacob's blessing. You understand? But out there is Jacob own. You understand? That was not for him. You know, so the eye stand out with fatness, so everything that somebody has, he will take it.
Them words is not for you. God didn't create that for you.
Understand? And they speak loftily of oppression. Understand? They always want to say, let bygones be bygones, whatever happened in the past, we are all men are equal. And that is stupid philosophy what they teach the people, and they get caught with that. You know, after they build up the whole system, one last generation, that now they're saying all men are equal. That's what I said, yeah? Now they put that in the so-called Negro head. You know, the so-called Negro head like sponge. Understand? Because majority of the men, the so-called Negro men grow up with females, grow up with the woman in the house. You understand? The woman head is sponge. So obviously, you understand, the man head grow up with the sponge. You understand?
Even now with Black Lives Matter thing, imagine, that's why I say they speak loftily. The fact that our people are the creator movement shows, hey, they even call us one of the minorities. You understand? And Jay go take that title and you don't feel like we're the minorities. What I'm showing you, that we are indeed at the bottom in their kingdom. We are the minorities. Well, they have to come up with Black Lives Matter to try to show them that, hey, that whole Black Lives Matter, I think that was set up ultimately by Esau. You understand? They keep all their blind. So you know Black Lives Matter because they're trying to fight for equality right to this day. There's poor Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all these men on a pedestal. Yet what? All their works was for a corruptible crown because they didn't do anything. Because to this day, all is still fighting for the same thing all was fighting for back then. You understand?
Well, they didn't do anything good.
Can.
That's not because Martin Luther, when they really go deep into it, but them fellas are set up by the same elites.
Can.
Understand? They come like this, right? The kings are around the table. And we as the dogs are feeding off the scraps. Understand? So in order for us to hush our mouth, there were 2 scraps. And the scraps what they chose was the Martin Luther King and stuff. And I started to make them feel like they have a voice. But in reality, them do not have a voice.
Barack Obama is a perfect example of that.
Exactly. You'll get them as a so-called black president. So they will hush them out and make them feel that, you know. So the system will continue to go on. But it's all about making the system go on, you know. Understand? And that's how Esau is. Esau is real intelligent. The scripture says he's smarter than Daniel. That's how I say
I only feel like only have a voice.
Yeah, understand?
And only have a
No,
voice.
and them controlling the man who they put up there too, you know. Then let the man know you're going on, go up there and say, I have a dream, I get these jigs to start to fall here.
Yeah.
Understand?
And to prove that you're really intelligent, it's working.
Yeah, it works.
It's be working in it. So there's things that we coming out here and just talking garbage and making up shit, but that proof it works. You understand?
Why I think they hook onto this black?
Yeah.
They would never call themselves Israelites.
When I watch Black History, Martin Luther King, they talk about X. This next one will get thrown in jail and all through. Right, Nelson Mandela, right? Died the idols, you know, died the men who, you know, that who stand up for the black community and for black people, and he so set up that as the brother say,
Yeah.
call it far away from the truth, you understand?
So when I hear the word black,
Yeah.
as I say black, jigs just stand at attention. Yes, black. Everything is black. So what about being an Israelite boy? What about reading about King David? What about reading about Jehoshaphat? What about reading about Paul, Peter, these men? But no, Malcolm X and this one and that one and Azan. He saw do a good job.
Yeah, I take it a step further too. When people think King David, when they think Yahushua, they see the super white man. You understand? So the men that was actually set up to be over our nation, they see the so-called white man. And then, so when they watch the Nelson Mandela, when they watch the Martin Luther King, they see the leaders, they thinking that these men was really meant to be the leaders of the black community. You understand? Hey, that's why he's so really intelligent that he set up his own thing. And now you people completely deceived.
Just get rid of that. And use the same black. To get rid of that. All of them was assassinated by who? Same black. Thing you saw use against black against soldiers.
Oh God, Samson a real meeting over here. Nice.
You know, even the part where it say they speak loftily concerning oppression. Like we were talking about with the Black Lives Matter and thing. They make Black Lives Matter and then they make all lives matter. So they're trying to show you that they all in a really oppressed. You understand? That all they're really going through nothing. As they say, slavery was hundreds of years ago. You understand? We in a new day right now. All that happened in the past, they don't mean nothing. You understand? And the reason why our people are at the bottom is because they're starting to smoke crack and smoke weed and thief and rob and all these things. When you was the one that put them in the slums. Imagine the natives, right? Them was here first, you understand? Yet for some reason, them living on the reservations while you enjoying the best parts of the land. How is that possible? You understand? You put them in these ghettos, in these slums. And it's usually one that put crack in the ghetto, in the streets, and cause them the same way in slavery, where you would say, well, hey, if you ain't conform to this way, you know, we'll kill this one, or we'll separate you from this one, and using those tactics to get our people into Christianity. It's the same thing today. How your people will survive if you was selling crack, if you was selling drugs, if you was kill each other, how they can make a living. And use the same tactics again. That is how the so-called white man has get down.
Now I just have to be cleansed, boy. Everything that you see, all this infrastructure, everything, all the street lights, there will be no more. Roads, nothing. You know, it will be a whole different kingdom. Completely different.
Alright, man. You don't take fruition.
Yeah.
Because see, when the Lord delivered from Egypt with his mighty hands, all these miracles, you know, don't feel the word that went on up here and hear about what was wrong in Egypt there. Don't feel you saw that what was going on in Egypt there.
See when Joshua, when they went to overthrow the land, the people was afraid of them.
Yeah. You know, so you saw no these people, you know, the Lord for them and make all their turn from all their power. If all they could turn from all their power, the man who deliver all out of Egypt, right? And all they reject, right? All they went on to other idol. So don't know all their foolish head. You don't come here now with tactics here now. And deal with all their programs, so you know all their foolish. All they leave a man. Nobody could have free all their from Egypt. Most I come and do that. And all they turn all their back at you. That's all their foolish. So now to work on all their.
And he saw all these scrolls and these scripts and all the real history. The real history, that's why they had the power to do what they could do. And that's why it was very. I was telling some fellas that don't mind me now teaching them the scriptures now, boy. You know, because some night they say they just standing up and they see something pass up for this guy, so and then went back, so they come and be ask me why is that now, boy. They're about his tired something now. Alright, so I was telling them now, he saw much more spiritual than the left hand side and Jacob. He saw really deal with spiritual. And here Jake have the right energy to go straight into the place that was sitting on the right hand side and refuse it. That's why Esau deal with more left hand side spirit, because he realized the spiritual world is more real than the physical world. So this is why Esau is able to tap in to get his powers and things. So the certain things that Esau implemented and things, it's not by guess. It's not by guess. All the sacrifices and all the blood sacrifices and things he doing. He put in his work. Why we Jacob supposed to be putting in the work on the right hand side? Yeah, so he put in the work on the left hand side and he get his blessing. Yeah, so he did what he has to do.
To back up and say scriptures, everybody will be rewarded according to their works.
Yeah, so
So for the works.
he's up putting the works. All this Halloween and all these children missing and drinking blood and things. We feel it is. That work. Yeah, so that work for him to exercise his witchcraft.
It's almost as if Esau more obedient than Jacob. Because if you really think about it, the devil is the devil.
I
When the devil's work.
and diligent, this guy says diligent, he search out everything.
All you do all you have to do. So do me and
But so do you know you have to do
so me teach you and do you have to do.
Look about the bill, look the bill going to pass in Parliament with us today. But someday they were supposed to pass the bill in Parliament with Trinidad and Tobago going to sign on the treaty thing. So the only Caribbean islands and stuff like that. And over there Barbados is the big woman, the big strong Spanish woman, but she needed the forum. And she's selling out the Caribbean to the so-called whites and the 1% over there now. And look, and what Jake said to do. Jake said to go jam naked and party and Jake not selling that.
And that come like, you know, they gain Esau
Full access.
Full access. They bring in the troops.
Exactly.
Start martial law. Start pandemic. You know, even if the place calm and it's a whole thing. You could call up. You could call up.
Yeah, you could call anything a pandemic. It has too much of people sticking to that from the normal code like that pandemic. Yeah, sir.
Bring in the troops.
Jake will say, you know, if that really happened, Jake might say, boy, we are taking that by thing. But when it was we own government, they take it. When he say you can't go on the beach, they did not go, you understand? Put on your mask in public. They had their mask on, sanitized, social distance. They was doing it. All the mouth they had, they were still following orders. You understand? So when the so-called white man no longer can use the representatives on them, you understand? And he come You really think you going to rebel? All the people going to conform. You understand?
And because Bill Gates talking about a world elite something boy for pandemics now boy. I mean a task force for pandemic. That is it. With the WHO being full charge boy. So it have no nothing like your religious thing, the thing, no. That's not all them things through the window. It's whatever the WHO say now.
You stand for and look what Canada you could have came down with this.
You're already know.
Right.
Even with this poison, them didn't really care about what your
No.
ideas on it was or your take on it, you know? It's either you take it and work or you lose your work.
For your staff.
Yeah, and them they don't care. So much more worse when it's the MOT.
A man, and there is because a man of face container which shall show no regard to the whole body down.
That.
You know, you start telling me, you see, you ain't taking this. You ain't care what you are, you have a newborn baby. You ain't take it and what your child starve. I don't know right now, he's not telling
That's what
me.
I said.
What your child dead, what your child starve. You ain't taking what your child dead.
I just think
Like
to do
you
it,
go
eh?
and
He come and kick down the front one thing and force it, eh? You say we're not forcing it, you know? But that's how it's by your choice. But the rest can't do nothing. So it's not choice. You understand? I don't know how wicked it is, boy.
Yeah, that's really a good point because some guy, they wouldn't watch it like that, they might watch it as a man just get fired. He have family to see about, he have little children to see about, or you know, his wife and whatever the cases. And Esau ultimately, Esau did not care. You understand? Either you take it and you know, continue to feed your family, or you resist it. And you will starve, your family will starve, and however you want to make ends meet, go right ahead. You just won't be making it in this country.
Yeah. We're not forcing it on nobody, you know? But they just can't come to work. They come like if you really force them to take it. You know, some man is telling me, oh, sign it. And I go and get paid all kind of mad.
See, you know,
Bring it down. And that's why we need the outside to come back. You know? We need it. We need it. Or for what to come back. Man,
nobody else.
that's too much I think he's what to pay for, but he's what to pay for centuries, I think. That's why you know when Apostle Tyler always say this too. He said he's still going to have a hard time to implement that MOTB. Because real people now wake up to the fact that something wrong from the same sense of juice. And I say, so when they come with this MOTB now, people going real. And that's why when they read Revelation 13, they say all those who won't take it or won't worship the bit must be killed or must be put to death or something like that now.
Revelation chapter 13 verse start at verse 13.
Yeah.
Say, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Man.
I just show you, referring to them missiles and them, you know, bringing them fire from heaven. Because that is a miraculous thing. And now Jacob watch that and say, you see, look, he saw a rocket ship. Look, he saw went on the moon. Look, he saw all these missiles, all this power that they have. Look, he saw, I think I was reading something, four nuclear missiles. I can't remember the name. They said that had the ability to destroy the whole of America, that whole country.
And the Satan too.
Yeah. So imagine that, you understand?
Yeah.
Just four. Imagine when people get unleashed. I'm just talking about that now. I say it have people thinking that when this whole nuclear warfare kick off, they gonna get cut dead. You know, like, and look at them, bam, you understand? And they just wake up in the spiritual realm, you understand? They go feel it because it's gonna be too quick, you understand? And they will really get it clean.
And the most ain't going to put that spirit and then the most I put that spirit and fear on them. Still get tortured.
Yeah, the will feel that pain.
The will feel it.
That's right. Hey, the eye going and blood out of the socket. The going and feel that one thing. The fire ain't matter touch him. Just the radiation. Just that alone.
Let's imagine here on a smartphone. This is a warning. This is not a drill. This is not a test. And you living in America, they say nuclear missiles on their way. They can run, they can hide. Let's get in that last 10 minutes what I'm going to take there. They're going to feed me in that 10 minutes. They're hard going on, men going to start to faint. They don't know what to do.
I do feel them. Hebrews 14, it say, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
You don't want to be a part of the system.
They have power, they have power. They have power. To do that.
So if you're not done with the system and not being part of the system, you know, you will be what? Will be killed, because why? It's not going to have a hard time implementing it until you have to enforce it. When you look at the word cause, you see both cause, it all both small and great. Cause meaning what? To apply pressure onto, or force something to happen. So that then the pressure going on that.
That's super right, man. You come. You look to come at most likely, you come at, you want pushing this through.
Yeah.
Because you saw knowing the scriptures. So when you reading about, things what the scriptures say we saw going on during the latter times, and we seen it coming to pass here now, and we looking to warn the people, You saw what that come like, you trying to throw sand in my right, so you trying to pass smoke in my deal. You trying to disrupt my thing out. Nah, we ain't having that.
Some lenders feel like it's so endo, like when we upload our video, we so see that when we control YouTube and all these other sites and social media and things, you so know what's going on the platform.
He saw very diligent. He saw us watch videos. He saw watching your videos.
So now I believe too. Like when you get them kind of, so you upload a video and you get like a kind of message, like a comment from them robot.
Yeah, something about some 0 point.
Yeah, them kind of thing. Now you saw, you understand?
That is fucking.
He saw the plan. He watched it.
So now you might bring out that video. You might think it had no views. You understand? But them not run through that. You understand? And hear what you want to say.
You know what movie I remember about? I was watching the other day something called Stranger Things or something like that. And that's the first season now, boy. They show you how Esau's role. If you have information, Esau actually put people to follow you, watch you, videotape you, do all kind of things, and you just on away. And I was telling Howard that one work now, boy. Howard, say, boy, you feel Esau don't know who you is? Well, Esau when that time reach, and Esau say, well, roll for me or roll for you. So if you gonna happen, that's why this scripture say, well, there will be strangers about salvation. Now we can't run from Esau. You really feel you can run from Esau? Think about it. How far you gonna reach? You understand?
So
Esau update on all of us.
Like how we using this phone here, Esau maybe tapping the phone right now. And watching it right now. You understand?
Yeah.
Before it even upload. Come on, they their gift and their technology, their weaponry, their arsenal, you understand? They use technology we just use. It's not no Jake that's making phones. It's Esau, it's Samsung, iPhone, all them things. Ultimately, it's so-called white man. All this technology, YouTube and all them things.
You have profile on all of us. You have profile on me, you, all the brothers, all over the globe. You have profile. He does know what they log into, what they like to watch. These are all everything. Yeah, everything. Understand? So that's why I know. As I was telling her what on all on work day, I feel, I could be wrong, but I feel one of the ways Esau could really implement this MOTB is giving people time and hours. They say, well, here we're going on, well, last 3 months to come and do X, Y, Z. After that 3 months, whoever get catch, or whoever we catch with all this thing.
Yeah, it could be that too.
Because Esau wanted to come willingly at the end of the day too, to boast about what he had. Now it's not to boast about it within himself now, but he come willingly to.
Trying to do it, and make it enticing for
Yeah.
He's trying to put laws in what part? The same way I was saying, I wish he can put laws in what part?
I was so doing a little demonstration with the chip. Man, he's showing you how the man unlocking the phone. you're unlocking car door, you opening the door, and all these things, making it like, you know, a nice gadget there now, boy, something nice to have now, boy. And you know, you can track, see this, see that, you know, making it enticing for G. But the ones who go about it, you know, and they ain't the ones who do the little stuff.
You know, because down to a time I tell you, Jake, I say when the MOTV come out, I know you will not take it. Jake said, he said, well, but of course I must take it. He said, that's cyborg thing. And he like that kind of vibe now. You know, he got technology in his body. He be like a cyborg.
Why is he spoiled? Why is he complete go to show? Why is he spoiled?
I'm not come from.
They like that technology.
They don't want to go back to the natural way or the motorcycle things, you know, boy.
They get so, you know, complacent in this place. They get so comfortable in this place.
Slavery hell.
That, you know, but then they don't like to, say, they have no patience, they like to wait. So when I'm telling you, when you want to go and review your ID card, and you want to line up in a line and wait long, you know, you don't start to get frustrated. But when this thing, you know, telling you, it update one time, you know, you got to, you know, renew everything one time, wap, Friday, watch it like that. Yeah, go through that and another thing and everything here.
That a movie, boy. I can't remember that point you bring up because at the end of the day, this flesh, to show how it is like, the way your flesh does work, but try to keep your physical activity on a minimal because that way it could save energy. So you walking up and going all over the place, you burning calories, you burning energy, and your body seeing that as, you know, basically like you dying. So your body, you lying down all day, that's why it feel good to lie down all day. You understand? It feel good to sleep because you're not moving. And that just show you Esau is a carnal man. And as the brother say, Esau understand this flesh real good. Yeah. So he know if he implement all these things, so where you think everything you want to do updated. License, ID, passport, visa.
You don't take lazy, you making it easy for Jake.
Making it easy.
Making it easy for
You don't have to go buy no ATM to take out no money and nothing like that. You understand? You don't have to go and look for your keys. You misplace your keys, you can't find. You understand? Nothing of that sort.
I think you misplace your wallet, everything ready.
Yeah.
Don't worry about nothing.
Yeah, the woman said it.
You can't rob, nobody can rob you.
Can't.
You know? Making it easy for me.
The woman said this summer, they said they will be able to track every transaction, every single transaction on the face of the earth. Everyone. So they don't want no more fraud, like money fraud and things now. Understand? But at the end of the day,
Yeah. You want to do all that?
I know. And we Job 20, what Job 20 say what? And when they are about to fill his belly, boy, once I go rain it on him.
When they say peace and safety, so destruction will before them. Okay, it will look like a good idea, you understand? You wouldn't get to fulfill, but it will look good. You know, when it implement and you know, it might be looking like things, you know, starting back to get back to that normalcy to the way it was, you know, to go had great farming, great death in the youth, you know. And here we is, we coming with all the protection, we coming with safety, we coming with a new world. So it will look good, you understand? People tell themselves, you know, people always tell themselves that the so-called white man is the savior. So they will go and take it thinking, you know, it's a whole new scene here now.
You don't catch him in. Because you catch them already because they run and take the boy. They run and take the juice.
Yeah, I just
They run
the
and
job.
take the juice comfortable.
I just chatting the little job.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't chat them right.
Everybody back down.
Yeah. All who stand firm and faithless. It's a real man, but if you're taking that, we taking that. When you boom, you see them, but you have to eat it.
Yeah, they had to eat.
You have to eat it. Like family home day,
and I did the same excuse they go and do when the MOTV reach.
Same thing.
The same thing. When I do, boy, I was hungry, boy, I have to take it.
Yeah, bills have to pay.
Yeah, and it could be worse too because we know Israel, that farming not coming is a great, real destruction can come, you know, before the nukes kick off and before Yahushua return. That farming, you know, and Jacob's trouble and all them things, can be real devastating. So you take a man who coming out of that and you telling him daily way out. He going and take it, you understand? Because how much worse could it possibly get? You understand? You can't take that. So he now see mother No, see, parents get slaughtered. You understand? The children may be dead. He may be here eating days, fighting for his life. I know the scripture say beast newly formed and all theta wild beasts and all kind of thing he know walk through.
The scripture say, when adversity come, you shall find him there.
Can
And don't he pretend to help me, yet he shall undermine me.
Yeah. So he saw a command now, you know, make him feel like
When
yeah,
adversity,
safe.
and you know, you're going through a grind, you're going through pressure. Here comes Jesus, you know.
Alright.
He coming in as a savior.
That's why you must watch movies, you know, like apocalyptic movies and things. You know. See how people just turn on each other in them days. In them days, where people go and turn on each other. Yeah, so it's going to be the survival of the fittest.
You don't see them survive, you don't see them after drinking blood. For thirst. Vampire because they drinking fire because they eating food. They drinking blood, they eating food. Hey, all you need then you're gonna fear your power back from your side. They're going on fear
And
everything the Lord said. They're going on up. They're going on up.
right.
Something.
I was going on in Psalms 10 now.
Okay.
Psalms 10, verse 5, he says, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He said he had said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. You know?
Never read Isaiah 48 because it says, this the man. You know, there's the man who say, you know, you're gonna bring him down.
It's true in Revelation 2 where they'll fight. They'll try to fight against the Lord. I know we always talk about that because he's so prideful. His feet will be in his face, you understand? Chariots, they have the shy, the hosts of heaven, right? Power in his face, he know the arrogant with, you understand? But something within him, you understand? That pride within, the nature of the so-called white man, he was saying that, you can't take down me. Who could possibly take down us? You understand? And we'll try to fight against your Bashim Yorkshire.
Like, you know what independence they were, you know, they shoot the bomb, you know,
Yeah.
the chariots them, you know, that under the shield. And you saw, you know, you get into the system and dismantle the shield and take them down.
So you put that in the movies, you know, to make
You're gonna win, you're gonna come back.
to build up the scene now, but like if when it like he know it happening. That's why he can put them taking the movies. He know it gonna happen. But he don't believe that he going to get defeated. You understand? He so believe he will overcome Yahweh.
Lord, we're gonna have me.
I'm a precept for that.
The Mount Sinai going to have me, and that's how you think it's so.
Yeah.
Because if the Most High didn't do it, just like in Egypt, Pharaoh going to let the people go, you know.
Yeah. After at the first plague,
Yeah, Pharaoh going to let the
a
people
little
go.
touch up he was done
When
already.
the Most High say, I will harden him, he will harden. Not to let the people go, you going to stiffen him up.
Because the most I want to show his power, you know, show his power.
Go and show me, try go and show Israel, you know, we just get down. He's a man of what? War. He's a man of war.
Show how he show you power too. Even when, you know, when they were to close the Red Sea, all of them swears dead. You know, that way they said, that Egypt, from ever since, you know, they begin to question the Musa if you bring me out of Egypt to kill we here and, you know, questioning it down the whole walk, the whole part, questioning it down.
I don't know he know because he go back to look for these blueprints. Because when he went to the crossing at the Red Sea and he find chariots, he find them over 400 bones and all that thing under the water and the chariot wheels them covered in coral and all them things. So he believe, he know it did happen.
Right? Because all they say the Musai didn't matter how first person. From the time Moses come and say that the people go, the Musai cannot get free the spirit to say, you know what? You're right, they all the people, they the lost people and things. Go ahead. But no, because the brother say he had to show Israel why he has to be served. You understand?
Yeah.
So he run it to the better end, the last end. You understand?
You have to show Israel why you have to be scared and why you that man can be scared. And that is a great example. That is a great example too. Because you know, if all ever watch this movie, this vampire movie, Dracula, boy, we went and
And maybe
sell
DVD,
it, make it DVD with vampire and thing and we say, say men do fear men just so you know. What the fear is a monster, you know, because remember we put all of them to the stake and stick up all of them, the whole village, and he kill them and put them on the spear. When them see that, men go in and fear he boy. Not to go wrong, he boy. Not to go wrong, and you see that he dread. You know, so he dying in the way. He has to be feared. The things what the most I gonna do it. He goes and deal with it real dread.
And then the most I don't think that's why. Happy suffer for what saying that's not there. The Revelation 9, verse 20, it says, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of their works of their hands. So even though, as I said, even in the face of defeat and things, if someone still be conquered, it's still not going to repent. Understand? Not for the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and of brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. He said, neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornications, nor of their thefts.
Hey, that he saw, you know.
Revelation 20, Revelation 9, verse 20 and 21.
But that scripture too, that Jake too, boy, because after all the travail and struggle that Jake can go through, Jake is still going to take the MOTB, you understand? Jake can turn aside after all the destruction. Because that's why Jake stiff-necked, hard-headed people. But also talking about the so-called white man as well too, you know the point he was making.
Yeah, because remember he going to get away from the plagues.
Yeah.
The plagues of the missiles and things. So when the Mosai make them create them bunkers, so that means the first to be into slavery. And even when they get into slavery, they're still not going to repent. They will be proud.
And now the Mosai setting it up too.
Exactly.
So it will be better that way. You understand?
Yeah.
It will feel better that way. So where, you know, they're watching, it's not like they're conforming them, but they know that they was once on top. They had control over the whole earth. These niggas, what these niggas have used to rule over, 10 foot tall, you understand? God's looking down on me, you understand? That it will make it feel better for them to rebel against that and try to fight against that so that they can continue to get put to death. Now the scripture said double, reward her double, and you know what she had given you? Yeah, you can. But that what Esau gonna get. Esau go white man. And I just show you in the movies, when I watch 2012, when I watch Independence Day, all them apocalyptic movies, Esau does always show himself winning. You understand? In 2012, the end of the world, Esau alive. You understand? How is the end of the world? How US? What he wanna put and that as they always say, them movies and things, it's a taking movies because it's spiritual. All them movies and them TV show and things. It's for real truth in it.
Yeah, that's why he does that, and that is how him, that is an example of him boasting and telling himself. Yeah, boast and I go and do this.
Nice show, you know, all the white people, all the nice movie, that bad movie. I like that movie. It's all showing you the wickedness day. And all the, you know, all the studying it. 57 days, Isaiah 47. Then, in Isaiah 47, verse 10, he says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Who possesses freedom and hold yourself not guilty. So he repented, he
But never, ever repent.
That's it, talk about Revelation 18. But the Mosai remember his sin. The Mosai don't forget it. You know, as we always say, you know, don't feel the Mosai memory bank full, don't feel hard drive full. That he have a 2 terabyte and it's done fully. It's done with its max capacity. You can't take no more. No.
You gotta clear it out to put in more information and things.
You know? The Lord does remember things that the scripture say that the Lord required that of the past. Right?
See how we just had to, buy flash drive and things to back up photos and videos and, some men does even, you write down memories or you could take a picture to remember the moment and thing. The most I rather do that. The most I rather take no picture and not to remember no. Son, the most I that the scripture say 10,000 times brighter than the sun.
Oh, thou had fallen, boy.
You understand?
Oh, thou had fallen.
And then when you check it out, I say, so you have got the scrolls, in the scriptures,
Man.
right? You have it. All the ancient scroll when they destroy Jerusalem, in 70, all them time, all them things you gather, all the hidden treasures, all them things on them scrolls and them. We have, with a hole in. So we know it, because watch it now. In language, they teach me the Assyrian Hebrew. But yet I see movies real spiritual too. Because it is put last one for that movie. When you watch Gods of Egypt it was Gods of Egypt. The same man who worked as Batman, I think he was Moses. They were showing you the ancient Hebrew, the Phoenician tongue, the Pale Hebrew. They were showing you that. Right in the movie Indiana Jones, when Larry Losa, when he was young, show you the name at your father, your power, and the ancient Hebrew. But why don't they teach you that language? All the Moabite stone, all them things were fine. Written in the ancient Hebrew. They don't teach you that language. But they teach you this corrupt Hebrew here with adding the dots and the commas and the vowels and all these things.
When Christopher Columbus, when he come to the Americas,
Yeah.
he went with a Hebrew translator.
Yeah, he went with a Hebrew translator. So you want to discover land. But you will, how you expect to, how you know it have people there? And you carry, I want you to know, let me say, he carry a Greek interpreter or something and he carry a Hebrew. Because you know there was Hebrew Israelites and the language they're speaking Hebrew. Tell me what these people. Like all them books and things we have. Yes, he raising the price on these books.
He
Because
know.
in this pandemic, in this crisis right now, who Jake going and spend 5,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 US to buy these books?
Niggas will read on our own. So the man had to spend 5,000 to read. Jake and buy that?
And Jake will go and invest with that. Jake will go and invest with that money. Jake will invest his knowledge. So you should raise up their prices on these books to keep your knowledge hidden from we. He want Jake to wake up at all. Like, he want Jake to wake up at all. That's why they didn't want to, to really educate, to read. You saw him what that? Like that come like a threat there. When you get gain knowledge, you saw him when you gain knowledge, you saw him can be simple and you foolish. You want to be able to control you. You know you to wake up and know you guys are like.
That's why I think going to school and thing is knowledge. It is knowledge and it's wisdom, but it's vain knowledge.
It's knowledge to be a servant.
Can
It's
you
knowledge
learn-
to be a slave.
You learning physics and chemistry and all these things.
Yeah, because they're going to workforce.
Can.
School is just a breeding fence to go to workforce.
Yeah,
That's all.
programming. Like the
Programming.
programming, to be a well-behaved slave.
And then nobody in saying studying nature and like studying life itself. Something wrong with that, because I think Solomon said the Lord will give him the knowledge of the elements and all these things. Because at the end of the day, if you really receive, if you could receive it, the elect, as scripture says, the elect was with Yahushua from the beginning. And you go in Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning God. Right, you're going to the Hebrew word is Elohim, referring to gods, right, plural, rulers, judges, right? You read, for those who did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed. So right, so the 144,000, they were with Yahushua, right, carrying out the orders of the Most High Yahweh. That's why they are heirs with Yahushua, because they were with him from the beginning. So there's nothing wrong with, the creation and nature and all these things, but that knowledge itself is not going to guarantee salvation. So all men that's go in school and think, hey, I got one in physics. And to show how wicked this so is. It's Hooke's law, it's Avogadro. I said how white men, you understand? They name it gravity. All the laws that govern the planet itself, it was discovered by so-called white men, right? Everything is so-called white men. All the terms for like a humerus and clavicle and all them terms and them. You understand? All them Greek terms and them. Everything is the so-called white man. Understand? But not you doing good in physics and chemistry and school. I know you went to university and you got a degree in this and that, and that don't mean you wise.
Our school system is a fool system.
Can.
Because nothing that is, and at the end of the day, that's earthly fucking knowledge.
Can.
You know, this guy talks about the earthly knowledge.
Can.
That's right.
They benefit in
They benefit in nothing. This is the knowledge as well. Let's start off with that way. This is the knowledge that you, well, this is the knowledge that you can carry back after you die. That's right. This is the right. That's right. Only we dead unto this world. Because we dead unto the world, because we do partake of the things of this world. So we dead unto the world, but we live unto our side. Through this knowledge.
They go with this knowledge there, they go going and give them glorious bodies, them heavenly bodies, them bodies were not subjected to sin. They will these words I'm going to give you, they will this words I'm going to give you. But she ain't going to deceive you. She is the believer. Go try and take care of you. You know? Take the pressure from one end.
And it will be easy. But if you know anything about nature, you know, people are very attracted to, you know, nature, it just take time, it'll take patience. Just had the good times, just had the bad times. But as the scripture said, the race is not for the swift. And those that will endure until the end. So let patience have a perfect work. The scripture said that too, let patience have a perfect work.
Everything. The Lord say, what's going to happen? What we going to do? It's going to happen. No doubt will be here. It's going to happen. Everything. Look at it. You know, the generation from back then. Look at all these events the Lord say going to happen. You see that happen, so we know the words and Lord is faithful and true. Right? So the Lord says you're going to destroy the enemies, you're going to put them in slavery. Don't feel it's not going to happen. It's going to happen.
I say, although it seems like if they were there now, and they had the powers to do, and bring out laws after laws, and had the powers to cast us down more and more, it seemed like they were in. You understand? But the Heavenly Father, the how about some else, you know, for the elect's sake, boy.
The second Ezra chapter 7, verse 57, then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. But if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I see. For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose the life that thou mayest live. And what Sirach 19 verse 19 says, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. You read John, it said, in him was life, right? In Yahweh was life. And the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness. Right? So this truth shining in darkness, and the word, the darkness comprehended it not. The darkness do have the ability to receive this glorious light. You understand? So where it said choose the life. So where it is to choose life? Choose Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's why I read in Matthew, it said them not basically like seek their life, they will lose it. And they that lose their life shall find it. So them thinking this, when they try to seek this physical body and to keep it alive, they thinking that the correct decision to make it. Not knowing that they're only choosing death. But those that give up this carnal body, give up this life, right? Lose their life. Right? As scripture says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for you. So them not give up this whole world. It might seem as if they're choosing death, when in reality, them choosing immortality. You understand?
Now it's always look, you know, to the people, you know, to the wait, how it look to, you know, for them who are the understanding. You know? As you were saying the other day, you know, when men come and just shoot, and a little affliction start. Nah, boy, it's not for me. This is not for me. Men leave it and go back out into the world because they was prospering more in the world when they come here, they start to see hell. You know, and they're going back home. You know, so it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody.
The point you was bringing out too. Men just read, you see, that now you eating the whole role. Because yeah, that promises that the Lord promised to Israel. And we know that by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you would be blessed. You understand? You would receive salvation, you know, through the Spirit and power, Yahushua and all these things. However, what? None shall go unpunished. So you still gonna have to pay for all the things that you do. So you yourself, you come into the truth. You're gonna be rewarded for all the things you do good in. You're gonna be rewarded for all the righteousness that you do. Yeah. Right. You can be rewarded for all the righteousness that you're doing. Because yeah, the Most High is a fair power. That scripture said the Lord ain't gonna forget your labor and love. So you not gonna, let me say, the scripture says he doesn't know it until the end, the same shall be saved. And you're reading Sirach chapter 2. Was there any that put their trust in the Most High and was confounded? If you is of the elect, in these last days, right in the last, when them chariots come, the Most High is not going to abandon you and forget all the things that you did in faith and abandon you. You understand? You're going and receive the work, you're going to receive the reward just for the works that you brought out.
That's why it's because the Most High is not slack.
Can.
It's promise.
Can.
You know? So don't feel, you know, there's a fleshy dealing with that. A man does forget, you know. A man does forget the good things you do for him. A man does do that, but the Most High is not flesh. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So the Most High ain't going to forget you. They will mercy that's coming here, boy. Tender mercies are David, boy.
Yeah.
Judgment not in wrath, but in mercy. And they will be seeking for in mercy. And your passion will shine because all are we worthy unto death. All are we done crime worthy unto death. All are we turn we back, you know, from our power. But we coming back to our power. Fearing the power, hoping for his mercy. That he could show you mercy on that day. To deliver us from his wrath.
So that point you was making, when men come in the truth and they think there's a curse that they really in a curse because you had to pay for what you did before. So if you worry Lord, and I just share, they got so one-sided. You won't get rewarded, you understand, for all the good you do, but you don't want to pay for all the wicked things that you do. And as the brother said, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is so merciful. You were supposed to receive death, but you lost your work, you understand? That was mercy, you know? The Lord could make you get clear way on the highway, dread, you understand? Like how the Most High be dealing with some of these men out here. You could have get one of that. You could have get a death like that, as I said in that video. I feel like the dreadest video I ever see. Them cutting off him, they hook up IV thing in the man's body to keep him alive and to keep him feeling everything that they're doing to him, and they're cutting off his arm, cutting off his limbs, cutting off his hand, and he bleeding out, and he boiling, they're making him feel everything. You understand? That is the kind of faith man could have get. But the Most High show you mercy and give you a little light touch up for what you do. Where you were supposed to get that. And when you come into the truth, prepare yourself for temptation. So you have to go through this walk, the same way Yahushua went through it, and go through all the pain and all the suffering, but in the end you will reap the benefits. You will receive the reward.
Yahushua will reap the benefits.
Yeah.
You know, easy Most High to the bruises side. We ain't greater than we make that. And we ain't gonna go through it and we'll just very easy way out. We have to go through this battle, we have to go through the fight, we have to go through the struggle, we have to endure until the end to receive this. So it's not no easy walk. There's no Christianity, you know, there's no better roses, there's no white picket fence, you know, that fairy tale life. There's a battle here.
Yeah, and this precept here, Romans chapter 8 verse 28, it say, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh, to them who are the called according to his purpose. So it's a both things, right? All things, I mean, work it together for them that love Yahweh. So you might receive persecution, you might receive pain and suffering, and you might think that the Lord trying to destroy you. But what it's in Sirach, so acceptable men will be tried, in the furnace of adversity. So the Lord give you that challenge to ultimately make you stronger. You understand? To turn you into the man He wants you to become.
Tough love.
Yeah.
Because you hate yourself, right? You want them to see, you want them to go good.
It had to be hard. Things, the harder the life is, the more stronger you become. You can't get everything easy.
If you be without chastisement, therefore you are bastards and not sons. You know, you despise the chastisement of the Lord. Go through it.
I can't look like if it's right on me.
Romans chapter 8 verse 35, it says, who shall separate us from the love of Yahweh Shai? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long, we are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. So you become, going through all these things will make you a conqueror. In verse 38 it says, for I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh, which is in Yahweh Shai Mashiach our Lord. Now could a weakling, you understand, could a weakling walk a path like this? No. Right, that scripture in 2 Timothy, it says, endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai. And if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. Because in the face of death, in the face of famine, in the face of persecution, right, all manner of hell, you can stay true to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Everybody can do that. And I just share, as he was talking about men who's coming to this truth and like fall out as they get afflicted. You really think them men who will not stand up in these last days underneath a guillotine and ball Kalala Hashem Yahushai and get put to death? That ain't happening. But it wasn't made for them to do that. That's why I say according to the Lord's purpose. You understand? Those chosen men, those true worshippers would strive for the truth unto death and stay loyal to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai no matter what.
Even the men who came out as British communication, even the men who were beheaded.
They stand so stiffly for their name, boy.
Yeah, man, like, when you really check it out, guillotine, thy mercy. Thy mercy from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
That's good then. Better than because when we receive God, they receive death. A guillotine is a quick death. You understand? Versus you going through famine and you're suffering and you're running from this piece, you're running from Esau. You understand?
Missiles.
I am sure as people they make out a good point with like the fear they will feel, you know, when they hear this is not a drill, this is not a drill. In that scripture when you read the second address, I think it's either 15 or 16. They will say they would desire to hear not to be like to hear another man's voice. You understand? Because they will be like one in every city and stuff like that. So imagine the whole of San Fernando, you is the only man walking around. The only voice you hear for weeks is your own the voice in your head. You understand? You hear no other human being. You gonna go mad.
I think like that earlier on today, you know.
Go mad.
A movie called Alive. What's that? What's that already? All of us, boy, Alive, you see the Chinese man that get thing on the phone, so as he get up in the morning, you know, he can't come back outside. He reached day 20 by himself, and he started to go mad. He wanted to kill himself, he wanted to hang himself. And you have to see another girl after that.
Forever. See, this thing is the quietest room on the earth, and people just go in there to see how long they can stay, and they can usually stay for like 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and eventually they start to go mad, they start to panic, and because you just hear nothing, and you understand, and that will send these people mad. So imagine you in that state, you ain't eat, you ain't have no fresh water to drink, you just stay in a by yourself. No family, no friends, nobody.
Nobody
Most
does
I
that.
can send some spirits of torment you understand? Even further. And die the kind of hell that is coming to you people. For all the unfaithful shall die in the unfaithfulness. That the kind of distress the Lord gonna bring. Okay? With that, we hope the session was edifying. Giving our praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High. Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Abakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders that do rule well at Great Millstone. Say peace and salutation to the sincere brethren throughout the four corners, pushing this gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom to the humble and sincere session out there as well. Brother Kalam,
Hey, Brother Lamad.
say hey, shalom.
Hey, shalom, shalom. Yeah, man, so nice side back again.